While you sit there, you are unaware that the global mechanism is operating to move you throughout your sleep. Powers beyond human understanding have been excavating truth out of the earth, where they thought it had been locked away forever. At this precise time, the same person who previously looked you dead in the eyes and denied everything is now desperately attempting to contact you. The same hands that were responsible for skillfully inventing comprehensive falsehoods about you are now trembling as they grasp their phone, wondering how to end their confession. It's not because they found a morality stashed in their coat pocket. Rather, it is because their counsel is aware of what awaits them outside the courthouse's doors. This moment did not come about by chance or circumstance. Make no doubt about it. It is the manifestation of divine timing in the lives of people. Your vindication is poised to cut through falsehoods like a sword of fire. The cosmic ledger demands you to establish a balance between the two. They had previously had a solid hold on the tail and were unwilling to let go. Your story, truth, and character have all been affected as a consequence of their deceptive influence. However, even the most strong grip loses effectiveness with time. They may now take their fingers from the neck of your reputation. The boundaries they built to imprison you are crumbling, revealing the magnificence of the place that is truly yours. In this universe, you have been misinterpreted. Someone has slandered you, as if you were a sacrifice to their desires. You were supposed to slip away, yet you remain here intact. Their attorney now has a full picture of the case. They picked the incorrect cosmic force to include in their calculations. They strolled throughout the globe with confidence, didn't they? They wore their dishonesty like expensive perfume, which was overpowering, hard to ignore, and made everyone in the room dizzy from its force. They wore their shoulders back and chins up. They were so confident in their capacity to remake reality that they came perilously near to convincing the whole cosmos to accept their falsehoods. Do you remember how they were able to forge papers with their own hands? How did they manage to fabricate the evidence with such fine precision? How did they twist the facts to the point that the truth itself begged for mercy? Every action is carried out with the unwavering assurance of someone who believes they will never be held responsible for their acts. As a master builder of deceit, they went about constructing a castle of lies around themselves, one brick at a time, with meticulous design and execution. From a distance, they admire their work. It is impossible for anybody to ever get beyond this. The deceived higher powers intervened with the subtlety of celestial clockwork. Only one thread got dislodged. Furthermore, the whole edifice that they had constructed began to collapse with unmanageable speed. The fact that the universe does not recognize forgeries is something they do not understand and never have. The universe cannot be deceived in any manner. The massive engine of justice may seem to move slowly, but it operates with crushing thoroughness. It is only now, when evidence surfaces like corpses rising from the depths of a lake, that they realize that opposing you was their fatal mistake before it began. The fight has already ended. That is not because they made a mistake in their plan, but because they were up against something much more powerful than you. They declared themselves opposed to the existence of truth. Their enlightenment has come too late. Nothing can be done to halt the processes that they have put in motion. I'm waiting in the courtroom, in the region of destiny. The judge's gavel has already been raised, and their attorney, who is their last line of defense, has entirely surrendered to the realities of the situation, blessed by his grace. Select Super. Thank you. And contribute $100 or more to spread his light. Your donation sows seeds that build his kingdom. Be the blessing, and present them with all of the knowledge before we come before the judge. The quick softening of their voice should not be interpreted as weakness. Be cautious not to mistake their rush for real sorrow. It is not the germ of regret that is causing the confession on their lips. It is the assessment that someone would make if they were standing on the brink of a cliff with the earth falling under their feet. They reach out to you not as a friend appealing for forgiveness, but as a drowning person clutching to anything that could rescue them. Their legal team has sifted through the evidence, studied every aspect and conceivable defense, and arrived at a single terrible conclusion. What they did can no longer be hidden. The truth has grown so large that it cannot be controlled. It pushes itself against every barrier they've built, twisting, locking, and stretching every chain until nothing can stop it from pushing onward. Their attorney had previously seen a pattern in which clients believed they were untouchable. When faced with the full severity of the sanctions for their acts, the advice offered did not concentrate on getting things in order. It was about avoiding more harm. Pay special attention to the terminology they choose to employ. Be mindful of how they portray their confession. Even now, they will try to rewrite their tale in order to accept that they have done anything wrong. However, they will continue to depict you as the antagonist in their story. You did what I was forced to do by you. However, you are not entirely blameless either. You must comprehend the situation that I was in at the time. Until the very end, manipulation was utilized. They are searching for a caring and forgiving personality in you to utilize to their advantage. For one final time, they think you will accept their half-truths and partial confessions because you will be grateful for any acknowledgement of the wrongs they have done. Their attorneys urge that they admit guilt, while perfect honesty was never demanded. Take caution not to get duped. At this time, the healing process has not yet started in the game. They are still attempting to win. This is their last move. They are not asking you to make amends. Rather, they are doing so to protect themselves from an impending flood of justice. It was intended that their techniques would absolutely overwhelm you. Their intimidation was designed to quiet you. You were supposed to be utterly removed from the equation. To be a footnote in their own story, they committed a terrible math mistake. You rose above the weight of their ambitions rather than collapsing under them. You did not break apart under the burden. Rather, you got more substantial at this point. You are not their victim. Rather, you are the physical embodiment of everything that frightens people. Unbreakable resilience or brokenness. The truth cannot be concealed, and its power cannot be diminished in any manner. You're going to see the individuals who previously questioned your claims be forced to accept your authority. It's remarkable to see how quickly allegiances shift when evidence becomes incontrovertible, thanks to the cool efficiency of equipment recalibrating to its proper operation. The same mechanism that they used to work against you is now working against them, as if it was constructed on sand. Full assertions are doomed to crumble when probed. Evidence that has been falsified is revealed in the same manner as corpses emerge from the depths of muddy rivers. Betrayals reveal themselves. The deeds that took place in the shadows are now in the spotlight, asking to be recognized and acknowledged. The allies who were standing shoulder to shoulder with them against you are now taking a step back, putting space between themselves and you, and calculating their own chances of survival. Rats rushing escape from a sinking ship. Suddenly, everyone was worried about the risk of personal exposure. The network of assistance that they relied on is collapsing just in front of their eyes, leaving them to face the disaster they have made for themselves. You're here for a purpose. If you feel called, answer it. Click join to get access to rare information, in-depth insights, and a strong community. This is more than simply a membership. It is an awakening. Step into your divine mission. Join the chosen. Their attorney is fully aware of the confinement, and he understands that isolation is death in legal fights. A defendant's weight varies depending on whether he or she is standing alone or surrounded by supporters. The jury feels it. Judges are aware of this. The balances of justice respond in a certain manner. This is why the tip is vital. Make contact with them before approaching the courtroom. Look for a way to neutralize their effect before we are faced with what lies outside the legal process, beyond the material facts and the clear breakdown of their stance. Something much more substantial is happening. A spiritual reckoning has begun, and it runs by rules more old than any courtroom could ever comprehend. Your entire essence was an effort by them to attach it to their plans using their techniques. They sought to affect your destiny by their attacks. They meant to weaken your authority. They were unable to fathom the cosmic agreement that they had violated by behaving in this way. You possess both psychological strength and resilience. The link is formed to forces that they are unable to see, measure, or grasp. When they were safeguarding you in realms beyond their awareness, they were functioning inside the realm of human plans. Their goals are now being foiled with remarkable precision. Everything they send in your way is returned to them doubled. Every trap they put up serves as a prison for them. Each weapon they created eventually proves to be their undoing. Mathematical accuracy is how the spiritual law of return is fulfilled. What they put out is back to them tenfold. They may approach you with tears in their eyes and their voice cracking with emotion, hoping to evoke sympathy from you. One potential is that they may discuss their grief, losses, and concerns about the future. These are real feelings that they may be experiencing right now. Suffering has the potential to unlock doors to awareness that were previously blocked during periods of achievement. Maintain a detached attitude toward their emotional solicitations. The burden they are bearing was caused by their choices, built by their hands, and put in motion by their intention. There is a clear relationship between the activities individuals choose to engage in and the weight they presently bear. It is not your obligation to make things easy. Your forgiveness and compassion cannot keep back the spiritual powers that are now at work, regardless of your own feelings for them. The wheels keep turning when it comes to this degree of justice. Individual sentiments are unimportant when there is a cosmic imbalance. The universe is restoring equilibrium. This harmony is represented in the tangible world with striking clarity, while the spiritual consequences emerge in realms beyond the human vision. Their riches, long assumed to be boundless, is now being drained by the expenditures of legal counsel, settlements, and judgments. Their stance, which was before unquestioned, is now contaminated by the prospect of being revealed as dishonest. Their once unrivaled stability is now plainly eroding. It is clear that you are aware that the game is rigged. Also, if you're paying attention, you will notice that the walls are growing closer and closer. Now, let us discuss the steps we're doing to remedy this problem. People have the right to demand certain goods when they are dependent on the market for survival. When profit and property control the country, when they demand to be heard, held accountable, and given a fair hand, we hear you too. If your heart is overflowing with God's blessings, let that love radiate. Click the super thank you button and donate $100 or more to sow seeds of faith that will touch countless lives. Your giving exemplifies His richness. Be a channel for His grace and watch His kingdom grow through you. They are rapidly diminishing the same resources they previously utilized against you. Bank accounts are drained, assets are frozen, and credit lines are closed. It is now clear that the financial fortress that they established, which may have even served as the foundation for their attacks on you, is made of papers that are easily destroyed when exposed to the fire of consequences during a blizzard that accumulates like snow on the ground. The number of cases grows as more people realize the trend you identified years ago. Financial ruin is a real risk. Rather, there's a growing likelihood that it will happen. Their legal counsel is aware of the predictions, understands the trajectories, and is aware of the inevitable result if some sort of intervention is not implemented immediately. They may appear before you and discuss making apologies, mending the relationship, and resolving the issues using the language of reality. The fundamental motive is survival, which is expressed in an unvarnished and desperate manner. Instead of reaching out to you as someone with whom they want to rebuild their connection, they see you as a potential method of survival in the middle of a storm that threatens to devour them whole. There is no obligation owing to them. Your attention, energy, forgiveness, and support are all irrelevant. The financial crisis that they are presently suffering is the result of formulae that they created and implemented. Their downfall occurs in line with the laws of cause and effect, regardless of whether you are engaged. Keep this in mind when they come before you to beg for forgiveness. This may be the first time in your relationship's history. The rationale behind their request does not reveal anything about your worth. Rather, it reveals information about their current situation. There is a considerable difference between them. In this time of desperation, you may feel powerful. The option of how to react to all they're going through. Will you pay heed to their confession? Are you prepared to accept their apologies? Are you willing to assist in lessening the problems that they will confront at the period that you anticipate their arrival? These questions could keep you thinking. However, there is a more important reality. You do not need to respond in any manner. Your opinion makes no difference to how the method works. That is the judicial system, even if it does not need your assistance. The truth operates endlessly. Your perspective will be vindicated whether you communicate with them or keep mute. The confession, whether presented in its full or in part, whether honest or strategic, does not change the previously agreed path of action. Not because of your actions, but because of theirs. Their fate was chosen for them. Regardless matter whether you believe their remorse, the trial awaits. At the 11th hour, the fight you waged was never primarily about them. The events in your life were merely the outward representation of a larger process that was unfolding. It is a process of development, strengthening, and alignment with your divine destiny. From a higher vantage point, what seemed to be an attack on you was really the universe's method of placing you exactly where you were intended to be. With unshakable confidence, the day follows the night. Justice is approaching. There is no need for you to apply pressure or provide your consent. It proceeds in line with established laws that are free of human intervention. Your present objective does not include ensuring that justice is delivered. Rather, it is to just witness the process of justice being carried out without being embroiled in the chaos. Please take notice of the following. The forces of the cosmos are collaborating to vindicate you via the correctness of their mathematical computations. Things that others regard to be fortunate turn out to be things that you view to be properly organized. Evidence that becomes available at just the right moment. Individuals who observe the rise of courage at just the right time. Documents come at inappropriate moments. The same supernatural timing that allowed them to keep their deception till the proper moment now works with the same degree of precision as they move toward their exposure. Nothing occurs at random. Nothing is a coincidence, just as the tumblers in a cosmic lock click into position. Each disclosure opens the door to justice, which no human power can ever shut again. When it comes to identifying this momentum, this unstoppable march toward truth, their counsel has the clarity that comes from years of seeing how justice eventually triumphs rather than being the consequence of a moral epiphany. The suggestion to confess is the product of professional recognition, and there is no way to reject the mounting evidence against them. They are encased by an airtight shell. The judgment that awaits them is obvious. Universal powers accumulated the resources required for this time as they slept in a condition of false security. They were under the notion that their vision of reality would be unchallenged as they traveled throughout the globe. However, they could not have imagined how the truth would be safeguarded. Text messages that they thought had been erased. Footage from security cameras that they were not aware existed. There were witnesses who they felt had been hushed, but who regained their voices at the perfect time. The lawyer evaluates all of this evidence with a necessary professional detachment before delivering the verdict that they had wanted to avoid hearing. It is difficult to defend against what they possess. Before we enter the courtroom, your only option is to approach them and talk with them rather than having the judge do it for you. You should put the record straight. Now, as you stand here, take comfort in knowing that you are standing on firm ground. Your attitude is not based on shifting sands. Rather, it is built on a foundation of truth that can withstand any storm. While others are desperately attempting to put together their tale, yours will remain consistent because it has never needed invention. You still use the same terminology you've used from the beginning. It is not because you have committed a script to memory, but rather because the truth does not need revision. They are straining themselves by attempting to repair holes in their sinking ship while you're going ahead on seas that are favorable to your voyage. Their counsel understands the need of consistent testimony, aware of how juries react to a witness's steadfast narrative, as well as the devastating effect of recorded evidence that fully correlates to the testimony being given. The legal technique shifts from attack to damage control. When such alignment becomes obvious in the opposing case to the one being argued, remember the difference between your perspectives when they approach you with their confession, whether partial or whole, honest or calculated. These are the consequences of desperation. There is no dispute about your position. Fear propels them to speak. There is wisdom wherever you go. Attempts are undertaken to mitigate the possible consequences. You are already making work toward your vindication. There's no need to hurry to respond when they contact you. Make the most of the time that is all yours. Consider what is best for you rather than what makes them more comfortable. The cosmos has waited patiently for this alignment to occur. You are promised the same consideration. They broke timeless truths that govern reality on levels they had never considered before, extending beyond human legislation, judicial processes, and legal consequences. These rules operate with exact precision, regardless of whether individuals are aware of or believe in them. They function consistently, regardless of time, location, or situations, due to the law of cause and effect. What they initiated returns to them in a completely symmetrical pattern. This is the law of harvesting. They are now enjoying the results of their effort in increased quantities. Integrity is a law that states that the gap between their words and their actions determines how much misery they are enduring. Their counsel is solely aware of the human laws that they have breached. The only thing the legal counsel sees is the imminent repercussions in court. The wider reckoning that is going place across dimensions of existence is something that their legal staff cannot perceive and no legal approach can address. However, you're aware of the broader scope of what is happening in terms of the present judicial processes. You can see the cosmic balance, which cannot be disrupted by human activity. If you wish to listen to their confession, you may do so with the detached perspective of someone who understands that justice has already been established at levels far beyond the future court session. This awareness allows you to watch their confession. Pay attention to the individuals who have gathered to observe this drama as it nears its climax. Those who were suspicious of your claims are now watching with open eyes as evidence confirms what you have indicated from the start. Some people who were skeptical of your security are now more convinced, since the fact corresponds exactly to the statements you stated.